Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, if you're dumb and you get in my sights, I'm going to talk about you. In this case, I'm going to talk about France again. Not France per se, the French nation. No, not about that. About the politicians who somehow think that they are morally superior to everybody else, and in this case, again, morally superior to the Russians. I made this video about on the 19th, let's be more precise, on the 19th of August 2023, and I said France calls Russia coward and cynical, claiming moral superiority. Let's see if that's true. So I discussed about certain issues because France again moralized Russia for something that they did to Moscow as well. But hey, they tend to forget. That's usually what happens with perpetrators. They commit a crime, or there's the suspects, and then they commit a crime. They tend to forget, but the victims do not. In this case, the Russians were perpetrators. The French were perpetrators. They were victims in their lifetimes. The problem is, or their history. The problem is these guys feel the need, the French I'm talking, to moralize Russia. We should not forget that in any respect, Russia is bigger than France. Maybe no, how should I put it? Per capita. That's probably one of the only ones. Surface or territory, military, population, productivity. I don't think France is economically stronger than Germany. Russia just surpassed Germany yesterday. I made a video on that one, so you want to check that out. So I don't know why France all of a sudden claimed, not all of a sudden, I think it did all the time. As a Romanian, I know that. It was directed towards us, and we're being called, which is a derogatory term for many people. I don't think, I'm not going to discuss why, but it is. We're called gypsies by our French friends, because they're superior somehow. Just visit France and go in their neighborhoods for a little bit. I suggest driving, okay? All right, don't. Anyway, let's move back to this, what's going on here. So, France, again, moralizes Russia, but Russia, you know what, doesn't give a fuck. And I'm going to show you. And France should do the same thing if someone else moralizes them, okay? So it doesn't go only one way, like, hey, France, you are not allowed to moralize anybody. No, I don't think that Russia should moralize France as well. Or they can, but it's going to be like, quarreling, fighting, verbally, fighting verbally in the street like, low class. I said it. So, this article comes from Ukrainska Pravda. I'm going to show you what the French did. Ukrainska Pravda. France does not recognize Russia's annexation of occupied Ukrainian territories, Macron said. Well, and Russia said, we don't give a... Okay? All right? They don't recognize. Anybody asked you? No. Okay. Well, if you, let's say, you don't recognize that. I don't expect France to recognize anything. It's their foreign policy to do whatever they want. But isn't it a little bit like, for instance, Russia not recognize Alsace and Lorraine? Let me show you. Familiar with this one? Yeah? Are you familiar with that? I'm going to walk you through it. So this territory is now part of France. It was taken from the Germans after 1918, after the Germans were part of the losing countries. Because there's another misconception. If you ask people, hey, who was the loser? Who lost the First World War? I guarantee you that 99.9% of the people that you would ask this question would say Germany. But hey, it was not only Germany, there were many other countries. It was Austria-Hungary. Remember, it all started with Austria-Hungary, not with Germany. But everything is on Germany. Germany, have you heard about Turkey lost as well? Bulgaria lost as well. Do you know about these guys? We're allies, I think, in the First World War with Germany. Not Germany, with Austria-Hungary. But they say Germany. So again, what happened? Germany was punished as hell, and Austria-Hungary was punished as hell. I don't know if that was justified or not, because they were too big anyway, and they were over other territories. But different conversation over there. What happened with Alsace? Alsace was taken after the Peace of Versailles, 1918, 19, blah, 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 after the First World War by the French because they were the victors. So they took it. Hop, zap, zap. Well, that bad guy called Adolf took it back. Remember? And after they took it back, after the Adolf lost and France won again, took it back. So how about Russia now says, you know what, we don't recognize Alsace and Lorraine as being French. How about that? What do you think what the French will do? You're going to hear them. You have nothing to say. Who asked you? Who are you? This is our territory. Don't even dare to discuss our history. But you are discussing Russia's history with Ukraine. All right? So don't you see the hypocrisy? I can see right through it. Let me read you a little bit here on Alsace and Lorraine so we get here. So Alsace and Lorraine is a portion right here between Germany, you see, France, and Belgium right here, and Switzerland here. Anyway, this is the now belongs to, obviously, France. So Alsace-Lorraine, Germans, Alsace-Lorraine, Lothringen, comprising the present French departments of Haute-Rhine and Basse-Rhine and Moselle. So was the name given, Alsace-Lorraine was given to the 5,067 square miles, 13,123 square kilometers of territory that was given ceded by France to Germany in 1871 after the Franco-German War. So the Germans took it from these guys, didn't they? This territory was given back to France in 1919 after World War I, and then was again given back to Germany in 1940 during the Second World War, and was again given back to France after 1945. Historically, the area was at the center of Charlemagne Frankish Empire in the 9th century, and later became part of the Germanies of the Holy Roman Empire, remaining in German territory under various sovereignties up to the 30 Years' War, the Peace of Westphalia, concluding that war gave control of Alsace and Lorraine to France. So, okay, we don't gonna say who's who, what's what, but hey, it belonged to the Germanies, right? Holy Roman Empire. So the Germanies. Then it was taken through a war by the French. Then it was taken again by the Germans in 1871, and then it was taken again by the French after the First World War. Then again taken back by the Germans during the World War II, and then taken back by France 1945. So who took it first from whom, may I ask? I'm not an expert at that, but if you want to be, nitpicking or nitpicking, then you got that one. So how about Russia? We'll say, you know what? We don't recognize that one. And remember, there's many things that Russia, if they want, they could not recognize. For instance, they can say, France, we don't recognize, not France, Poland, we don't recognize, for instance, Danzig being yours whatsoever. We don't recognize that. We don't recognize the East Prussia being yours, Poland. What do you think the Poles will do? You. But everybody else feels like telling Russia what they are allowed to have and what they're not allowed to have. And for God's sake, it's 145 million people live in Russia or Russian Federation. It has the biggest landmass on this freaking planet. It has the biggest military arsenal, nuclear weapons on this planet. It's not a third country, economically, politically, however you want to take it. And everybody somehow tells them what to do. Who are these guys? Did you look over the map to see France? And I can go on and on with many others that took from others. Ask the Hungarians about Transylvania, for instance. Ask the Romanians about Moldova. Ask Romanians about Basarabia, Bukovina. Ask Romanians about the Quadrilater. And many, they all want something. Now, if tomorrow country will start saying, we don't recognize that because it was taken by war or anything like that, where are we going to end up, my friends? So again, this attitude of, hey, I tell you, I'm not going to recognize that. Okay, I don't recognize that either. I'm waiting for the Russians to come with this and I will report it. I'm guessing Lavrov will say something like this, say, okay, then we don't recognize Alsace and Lorraine as well. And the French, you will see how they will be all upset. Impossible, impossible. Don't tell us, the French nation. Look at the French nation. Poor Miss, what's her name? Le Pen, Marine Le Pen. Poor woman, but I hope she wins. I support her. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.